Let's talk about ISIS.
You will not be able to defeat ISIS.
Preparing for more ISIS attacks.
To share your name with a terrorist organisation.
My name is ISIS.
My name is ISIS.
My name is ISIS.
You must hate your name now. How unfortunate. You have a lovely smile to make up for it, though. I would let you terrorise me any day. So much effort has been put into that one. So I just thought I'd set up a Tinder to see what the responses would be to my name. It's a little social experiment. I swiped right to every single person that I saw because I wanted to get the broadest reactions that I could. A lot of haze. This one's good. Your name ISIS. Like ISIS, ISIS, but no question mark. You have such an awkward name. Thank you. This one's quite rude. Do you think your name is politically correct? Shouldn't it be banned or some shit, right? This is the one I was expecting. Damn girl, you the bomb. How do I open it? Ooh. This one's weird. In the least weird way possible, you look like a fantastic hugger. I think this is just a traumatic Tinder experience. I'm never going to use it again.
I used to be quite proud of my name, and people would often react very positively to my name. So it became a sort of part of my identity, I guess, growing up.
Everyone, when I was younger, it used to be, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful name. And not many people really knew how to pronounce it when I was little, so it was actually, no, it's ISIS. And they was like, oh, wow, that's nice. It's quite nice. My chef whites for college have my name on it, and when we used to get like a temp chef in or someone that hadn't seen me and I'm wearing this and just look at it closely like, oh, is that actually your name or is it a nickname? And it's kind of like, no, that's my name.
All of my colleagues were given name badges, but they decided not to give me one with my actual name on. But it was quite an interesting experience getting a kind of Sarah name badge.
I think the first image which comes into a stranger's head when they hear my name is probably someone getting beheaded or bombs.
My friend was at a festival and she lost me, and like, festivals are pretty big. It's pretty useful to shout someone's name out, and she said someone started screaming. She didn't realise like what an impact this word would have.
Can I get a cappuccino, please? So sometimes when I order a coffee, people stare at you weirdly.
Cappuccino for ISIS?
That's me.
ISIS sounds a bit like a supervillain.
My toes do curl up, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, everyone's staring at me, please don't.
I went down to my interviews at Oxford and I would introduce myself to people and I would just feel this sort of shame and embarrassment.
I'm just about to renew my new passport and I've postponed it quite a bit just to wait until the big ISIS situation's died down because I think it might be a little bit of a problem.
So I'm filling in the Esther form. So my family name is Caldwell. My first name is Isis.
I've heard of cases of people not getting into countries because of having the name ISIS.
I guess that's all my information filled in. We'll just send it off and see what happens.
I got this app called Periscope, and when I was on it, people were saying that they would find me, saying that they wanted to kill me. First comment, you're ISIS. Yes, I am ISIS. I am in ISIS in Iraq. Okay, I'm going to block you now. I usually have to block like about 20 people, kind of sounding like Islamic State. Well, no, they're sounding like me. I've been around for 18 years. Why is my name Isis? Because my parents named me Isis. I was named after an Egyptian goddess.
I love knowing the story and I love being able to tell people the story and educating them on it. Isis the goddess, she's goddess of motherhood, so she produced life.
My sister's called Thames. When I was younger, I used to be told that I had the better name of the two because Thames is quite a masculine sounding name for a girl. But obviously now it's like, I have the more unfortunate name.
I married ISIS on the 5th day of May.
So Teddy, what did you think of my name when you first met me?
ISIS kind of popped into my head, obviously the terrorist group, but after about 10 seconds I don't really think anything of it, so it was actually fine.
Most people that I meet, when I say that I have a friend called ISIS, they get really annoyed, and they're like, why wouldn't you change your name?
So you don't want to like give in to this.
Yeah,
you don't want to like give in to, like, if you change your name, that's such a big deal.
I was thinking about ISIS. I still thought I was so reckless.
Do you have more solidarity with someone who has the same name as you? Jasper.
Oh, you're called Jasper?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, but I guess if it's an unusual name.
I've never met any other people called ISIS. I think it would be interesting. I could see if they share similar experiences to me.
You have to do a bit of digging to actually come across that name.
I have never met another ISIS. If you're out there, call me.
It's almost disconcerting to think that there's actually someone else called ISIS. It's like my name.
I automatically react like, oh yeah, what? It's like, oh, it's not me. I know you've stolen something. But I did think it would blow over quite quickly, and it didn't, and it's still... I think this whole situation's gone on longer than people thought it would. There were a few funny situations though where I had to like call people up and they're like, oh, can I just take your name? And I'd be like, ISIS, and they'd be like, spell that? And I'd be like, ISIS.
I get that, and it's like, oh, how do you spell your name? And it's like, oh, it's the one that's on everything. That's how you spell it.
There are so many people who are so much more affected than us.
Yeah, it's like the people that are actually getting killed and the effect that they've had on their families, and it's like, oh, I'm quite sad because my name's actually ISIS.
Like, despite what's happened, and we're still sitting here, like, around a table, like, enjoying talking about it and, like, laughing. It's nice.
My friends are like, you've gone to an AA meeting about being called ISIS.